Hey guys, welcome to Three Brown Women, where three brown women are giving you the real, the what, and the why of the everyday life of a woman. Yay!
I know you.
So, you guys, I totally have a question, right? And this is for everybody, like entrepreneurs. This is for people who work like, 9 to 5. This is for people, this doesn't even necessarily apply to jobs. But it was based off a question, or it was based off a conversation that I had earlier today. And it's like, so the person was basically telling me, with me doing brand development and, helping people with like their logos, websites, basically just full package, just putting their businesses out there. One of the people that I started working with, or one of the clients that I started working with, was like, they almost didn't reach out to me because she just assumed that like my prices were going to be like astronomical. But it actually fit her budget. So my question is, like, how, like, what do you guys think about that? Like, do you think, like, is it normal to get afraid of, like, just jumping into something or asking? I'm trying to understand why it's hard for people to just, like, ask, before assuming something.
Just being vulnerable, right? Like, so your client, she came up with the assumption that your prices were out of her budget, one, because of how you market yourself, right? Which is a good thing, of course.
Okay.
But the fear of her, if you were out of her budget, the fear of her knowing that you were out of her budget could have been like a gut punch or something like that, and her letting her vulnerability down, right? Like her becoming, her like getting to the point to where it's like, okay, what if she is out of that budget? How is that going to make me feel? Is that going to make me feel like I'm not doing enough? Is that going to make me feel that I am not as successful as I want to be? I think that all of those play a role, when it comes to being afraid to ask, at least in that situation. But even outside of like services and anything related to business, I was at a point at one time in my life to where I always wanted to be the person that was like the resource, right? Like I always wanted to be the person that had the answer to everything. So it was almost to the point to where I did not allow myself to be a student, right? And it's almost like, it's almost like it would be a gut punch to me if I needed help, or if I didn't know something, I couldn't figure it out. So letting that guard down and being vulnerable and being real with yourself, like you can't know everything. You can't be a master of all trades. That's growth. So.
Yeah. Because I'm just like, when I think of something, I want to think of something, I'm going to do it. Like, whatever it is, like, I just need to know now. I'm a need to know now person. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I am. So when people say things like that, I'm like, my first thought is like, why didn't you just ask? But I'm learning that, like, some people, like, sometimes it's hard. It's so hard for people to ask because maybe it's just like the fear of rejection. That's part of it.
Yep.
That's definitely a part of it. I know that I am kind of like that. Like, I struggle with that a little bit, but then I'm a person that knows how to talk myself out of something. They'll be like, go ahead and just ask. Some people aren't like that, but I do go through the thought process that they do that causes them to assume and just turn the other way sometimes. Like, I'll be like, well, what if it costs too much? And I don't want to be discouraged, or I don't know, like, or I know I've had the thought before looking at somebody and how they market, like, oh, that look expensive. I know I'm not going to be able to afford her right now. When you just never know. I could have, you know what I mean? some people don't get to that step of saying, well, let me just try it. What's the worst that you can hear, right? I'll talk to myself at least to that point. Be like, what's the worst that you can hear? Worst you can hear is no. If you can't afford it, then, okay, let me go back to the drawing board and figure out how I can afford it one day, or where I can start out now that I can afford, and then graduate to that eventually. You know what I mean? Some people don't have that motivation inside of them, or that fire inside of them that, you know, sometimes allows you to think outside the box and be like, okay, this was a no, but let me see what else I can do that could possibly get me what I need for right now, and then I can build up to that point. Some people kind of just shy away and be like, oh, I just can't. And unfortunately, that's just the different type of people we have out here. You know, sometimes it's not unfortunate. Well, it is, because some people don't even tap into a lot of things because they'll just be like, you know what, forget it. I can't do it. I can't afford it, and woe is me type, you know, party. Versus like, I can't do it right now, but what I can do right now is, and I think if a lot of people had that type of methodical thinking, like, okay, if I do this first and take that time and not just try to get everything so quick, and as soon as one thing don't go right, everything else falls apart, then it'll be a lot more successful people out here. But that's just the way it is. It's different people, you know. Some people to that point, some people you can't talk to that point, and they'll be like, I'm not doing it. You know, I'm discouraged, I'm done. Some people, as soon as they still feel discouragement, they want nothing to do with it. Nothing. They're like, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to feel that. So, for their own reasons, I'm sure, you know, but.
I'm like that sometimes, even still. If I'm trying something new, or if I'm stepping outside of my comfort zone in order to try something else, sometimes, and this is something that I need to get out of because I know that it's not right? Like, if I don't see results fast enough, and then I give up.
Yeah.
Well, see, I'm with the results, I am that way. I don't give up, but if I don't see results fast enough, like, I'm doing hardcore research. Like, if I don't see the results, I will be sitting in my room, sitting on my bed every day, all day, until I get it done. People are like, what are you doing? Like, you haven't eaten, or you done? You didn't do this? Like, I'm like, why is this not working? Like, I get that.
Yeah. Between, it depends on what it is. Because then it's like, if it's like something that I've seen other people just do and have done, and I'm like, come on, I got to get this. What am I doing wrong? But then if it's something that's complete, like I can completely do without, it was nothing that was going to really, you know, bring too much to me, I'm not about to put that much work into it. I'd be like, forget it. I'm not about to do it. I'm over it. Like, but if it's something like, I'm like, that would be simple to me, you know what I'm saying, or that I feel like should be simple to me, and I'm not getting it, then I'll be like, what the heck? Like, I got to figure this out. I'm on Google. I'm trying to figure it out. Like, why can't I do it? Looking up videos, anything, you know. But yeah, it just depends on what it is. If it's something that just causes too many steps for me to figure it out, and it's not going to be that much of a benefit in the end, I'd be like, screw this.
Right.
Put this out there in the air right now. If I ever see one of y'all quit, we're gonna fight. Well, I'm gonna fight. Like, I better not see it. Like, I'm gonna be on you. Like, I will literally, if y'all don't want me sitting in my room all day trying to figure stuff out, do not try to give up. Period. I'm not joking.
No, like, for example, I have been on my weight loss journey for like 5 years, right? So it's like I'll get discouraged, right? And then I'll stop, and then I'll come back, get discouraged, come back, you know, whatever. Or even with social media, like for some reason, I cannot get the hang of like consistent social media engagement and like tailoring that to like I guess growing my following. Like, it's not a niche of mine. Like, I probably need to hire somebody, but I constantly try, and then I'll be consistent but not get the engagement that I want. So then I stop, and then I try again, you know. So I can, like, give up for good, like, pack up and walk away. But, I mean, but even still, like, it's tiring to start over all of the time. And me, I burn out very, I don't want to say quickly, but when I do burn out, I burn out. So one question that I have for you all is, when you reach the level, like the point of where you feel burnt out, like what do you do to combat that?
Dang. So if I feel like burnt out, you know, usually if I feel that way, like overworking myself to try to get something done, I just kind of like sit back and I try to find people who are, I go to social media. I actually go to social media and scroll through and try to find somebody who's maybe doing the same thing that I'm doing, or, you know what I'm saying, or YouTube, you know what I'm saying? Like, I go to those videos and I listen to, like, what they did, or I might listen to, like, you know, how they struggled, or I find something that I can relate to in that moment to, like, try to get me through.
Right.
Especially success stories, because let me tell you, if you're going through something and you read somebody's success story, it 9 times out of 10 is just going to motivate you again.
Right.
That's dope.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I do that. What do I do?
And I eat. I need to play.
Like, I don't think I do. When I feel burnt out, I'm not going to lie, y'all. When I feel burnt out, I kind of shut down and just kind of get into me a little bit. I literally, that I might not call you. I might just be in the house for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of shut off to myself.
Yeah.
And I relax, because I'm one of those people that I really appreciate alone time. I really appreciate, like, silence. I really appreciate, like, being able to sit in a dark room and just play the rain. Like, I'm, like, one of those people for real. So I completely shut down, and I will probably, like, do, like, self-care stuff, or, like, looking at, like, right now, I just kind of had one of those moments, and I was like, let me do something to refocus my attention and my energy on something that is lighthearted, or, you know, so I'll watch a funny show, or I'll look around the house and be like, what room can I clean up and do something different to? Like, that's the phase I'm in right now, where I'm like, oh, I can do this to redo my bathroom. I'm going to redo it. You know what I mean? And that stuff like that relaxes me because it's fun. So I find, but again, it's still me kind of to myself, you know, because I'm doing this stuff in my own little realm. And I'm like, all right, and I figure it out. And then once I do that, then I feel refreshed. So now I'm like, okay, I got a new room in the house. Or, okay, that was the best. Then I just had with the rain plan for the best. It felt good. So now I'm refreshed and I can go back to what I need to do, like my 9 to 5 or whatever the case may be.
I like that. So you redirect your energy.
Oh, yeah.
You redirect your energy. You plug it into something, and then you see the benefit of you, like, redirecting your energy there, and you recycle that energy to come back to, okay, I like that.
Yeah, I didn't realize I did that until I was, like, talking it out loud, but that's literally what I do, because it makes me feel better. I just be like, and I'm in the burnout phase, and I'll be like, whoa, wait a minute, I don't like this. And I start, you know, I'm crazy. So in my mind, it's like, oh, I got to calm this down. Something's going on. And then I'll be like, okay, what can you do? Because, I had anxiety issues and things like that, too. So I'm literally trying to combat everything and be proactive. So I'm like, all right, now, before you start freaking out because you're burnt out and your anxiety's riling up, all right, what can you do? Figure it out.
I need to write this down. Literally, I need to write this down. Okay.
You can feel it. You can feel it when it's coming. You know when you burnt out, and you feel it because you be like, you know, I'm exhausted. I'm irritable every time I talk to someone. You know, you start noticing things. You be like, wait a minute, that's not you. What's going on? You feel it. If nothing else, we know when something's wrong with ourselves. You know what I mean? Like you gonna know right away. You wake up in the morning and you feel a little off. You gonna know right away something ain't right. So about to feel off.
Right. Yeah.
And I feel like all three of us are intuitive with ourselves to the point, like, we'll even know if our day might be, you know, a little rough when we wake up, like, oh, it's a rough day, but I'm going to claim that it's not. I'm going to change it. I got to do something. So that's literally like, I'm just being more intuitive with myself. That is what the 30s have bought me. The dirty 30s.
Learn to trust your emotions.
Yes. Big for me. Y'all know I cry. I used to look at me hard. I'd be like, oh, crying. Going crazy.
That's
that's what honestly, that's one of the biggest things that I'm taking from this 30s ride that I'm in. Like, okay, get into your womanness, your woman, inner woman. It's pretty cool.
Mhm.
A girl to decorate a room. What? Decorate a room? Pay somebody to do that? Are you stupid? I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Now, I want a mirror here, a picture there. Like,
yeah, that's good. I like that. I like that a lot. It's funny that we're in our 30s now, and I remember when I was younger, right, like a kid, how I used to think that 30-year-old, like whatever that looked like. I used to think it was like mature. You got your stuff together. You know, you got your home and your kids and your good job, and it's so not what I thought that it was.
It's not. I can relate to that too, because I remember like when I was like 17, about to be 18, and like you'd hear like your parents say, "Oh, you're going to be 18, you know, you're going to be grown." To me, I was like, well, and I know this is weird, but I always thought like, oh, well, I want to be 28. 28 was the age to me that like everything would be on point. I would be I would know everything. Like that was the age of the woman. And it was nothing like that at 28 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And even like in your 30s, like we were talking about being 30 and like old age, like what is old age? And I'm like, I don't even feel like 40 is old. I think 40, you are still going to be learning. Like, I don't even feel like 50 and 55. I think 50, 55, like you probably have learned so much that you're learning like to enjoy more of life. You know what I'm saying? But
I feel like,
I don't know.
I feel like, well, one, just to piggyback off your 28 number, my number was 27. Just so you know.
Okay, I'm not so weird.
I was like, I'm going to be married, have a kid,
Exactly.
be a house, but like, ma'am, no, you're not. Knock it off. None of that happened. But as far as older age, now that I'm at this age, I do not consider 40 old. I don't even consider 50 old. I don't feel like you're not old until you're like maybe 65 or something, like 65.
I said that age. That was the age that I said. I said, I don't think that I'll be old until I'm like 65.
Right.
And I feel like I'm not going to be old at 65, but at 65, like, I should definitely be established. I should just have fun. But like 40, 45, 50, 55, like, I just don't feel like, to me, that's like, it's not old. It's just not old.
I don't know if it's because we're getting closer to that side now.
Right.
Factors are changing.
I like it though because I don't feel like it. Like I
used to when I was younger. I used to be like, ooh, 40, they old sale, they 45, 50. But now I'm like, that's like light. I'm like, I'm ready. I'm excited to turn 40. I want to be. I'm like, well, I already know what hairstyle I'm going into at 40.
Look, I can't, like, when I start getting gray hair, I'm not dyeing my hair black. I'm definitely going with this high fashion gray silver color, like, for the rest of my life. I want to be doing it now. Like, pretty much.
I'm doing it now.
It's probably definitely going to be, like, shorter, you know what I'm saying? It might be in some curls, but by then, you know, man, I have my body together. I just want to be this banging, smacking older lady that people, like, you know, they're out there like, I want to be her. Angela Bassett is gold.
Yeah.
Angela Bassett is gold.
We will be. I feel like we are going to be some old baddies.
Definitely. I mean, definitely.
I think we just need to remain, everybody, like, I remain active.
Mm-hmm.
Out in my 30s that I need to put some sort of workout regimen into my life. So I have to because one thing about it is bones, they don't care. Your bones do not care. And when you hit a certain age, like I know when I hit 30, it was 31 for me where I first got my first weird sharp pain in my back. I'm like, whoa, what's that pain? Like I'm getting pain.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't want that to get to the point where like now I'm 65 and I need a walker or something. That is like, I understand people live full lives like that still, that's just one of my worst fears. Just one of my worst fears, because I'm like, I don't want to be old and not be able to do for myself. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't want to have somebody help me out of a car. I don't want to. So, like, keeping that in mind, I am trying so hard now, recently, like just now, nothing that's been going on for a long time, but to be conscious of what I'm putting in my body and then being a little bit more active. Because I'm like, and it might, I hope it's not too late, look, because I'm 30-something.
It's not too late. But you got to keep that momentum. You got to keep moving. Like, I read somewhere, maybe I read it or heard it, but this saying, like, pretty much stuck with me, is, like, you're basically how you form your body is going to determine, like, your outcome at an older age, when you're 75 and you're 85. So, like, if you sit in the bed all day, you know what I'm saying, it's likely that you're going to be that person in a wheelchair because your legs aren't going to be able to, you know what I'm saying, sustain and move around like that because you formed your bones to get used to that. So if you just keep yourself in motion, like, also with, like, you know, like how, like, sometimes you get a little bit older, maybe your back is thinking, like, you have to keep yourself in motion. You have to. Because it's definitely going to affect your future.
Yeah. That's like that. I don't know why I just honed into that thought, but I've been honing into it a lot lately because I'm like, oh, shoot, I got to get on it.
Yeah. Yeah. I need to get back to the point to where I enjoyed working out. At one point, I enjoyed working out. I look forward to going to the gym. So over the summer I was running. I never fell in love with running. I did fall in love with biking. I do need to get back to that point to where I, like, enjoy working out, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
How do you even do that, though?
I guess you have to kind of find what works for you, right? Like, biking, I love biking. I love it. I can do it every day. And I was really consistent with the riding until e-learning started, right? And then, you know, with me having 2 children, it got pretty stressful and hectic. And then I started riding, like, in the evening, and now it's turning dark at, like, 6 o'clock. So I really have to get back to the point where I like working out in the gym. I have been to the gym a couple of times. Did not like it. But I was at a point to where I did like it, and I looked forward to going to the gym. So I guess I just have to force it.
I don't think I will ever get another gym membership because I really don't go. Like,
right.
But what I can do is I can sit in the house, and any minute that I feel like it's an amazing day, I'm like, let's go for a walk. And I can walk and walk and walk and walk and walk. Just, you know, with somebody, typically, right? Because I want that walk and that conversation. But me in the gym, we're just probably not going to ever happen. If it happens, I'll let you guys know, but I think, like, it's a never.
I don't know. I think I've went down the rabbit hole of the gym membership and never going either. So for me, I honestly get so much more out of the workouts I do at home or the workouts when we meet up at the track. I feel so much more accomplished after those type workouts than I don't know why. Like, it just feels like I've done so much more. And I don't know if it's because I'm just relying on myself and I don't have, like, a bunch of exercising tools to, like, help me out. So it just makes you put in that extra work or something. I don't know, but I don't know. I get more, like, I like the fact that I could just get up I'll be like, let me work out. And then I do my little routine that I do running up and down the stairs and, you know, things like that. Or I like, let's meet up outside somewhere, fresh air, go work out. Like, that type of stuff I love. I don't know why. It's different from inside the gym. I feel like in the gym I'd be like, all right, which machine do I want to go to? I don't want to. It's too much with that. And then I'm spending my money to think. I don't feel like it. So
right.
That could also be because you're an outdoor person. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people are not. Some people love being inside, so they definitely want to be inside of a gym. But some people are like outdoor people. I'm an outdoor person. Like, if I'm gonna work out, I want to be able to feel the fresh air, you know what I'm saying? Like, I need that outdoor experience. Yeah,
that's true. I get that. Some people, like, I don't want to be out in this bugs and this, you know, I'm
not that person. I'm like, okay, I know it's bugs.
I like bug spray.
I did enjoy working outside. We would run a track. Me and a friend of mine, we would run a track for about a mile, and then we would do like circuits in the turf or something. So I enjoyed that.
I feel like you had fun with that.
Yeah. I could probably start doing that until it gets a bit colder outside.
Yeah.
So.
It is.
When I used to, like, when I was younger, and I've always been a walker, like, me and my best friend would walk all the time, like, and that was just, like, you know, just outside and going to see our friends, but, well, you know how the city is, but we would literally walk, like, all the way from, like, woods to, like, all the way to, like, Racine and May. You know what I'm saying? Like, we would do that on an everyday basis. So I've always been a walker, and then when I end up moving to, like, the suburbs, me and my other friend, like, we would walk all the time, too. If it was just, like, sometimes we wanted to get up for, like, exercise, we would, like, go for a walk. But, like, during our walk, we would, like, come up with songs, and we'd be, like, singing it. You know what I'm saying? Back and forth. It was just, like, it was fun.
That's so cool.
It was fun. So having people to entertain you at the same time is also a motivator. I don't think that, like, me and my friend, we can't go to the gym and jump on, you know, one of the bikes or something and sing a song. People will be like, shut
right, like, that's right. Yeah.
So listen to this, you all. So I am looking up something. I looked up an article about walking, like, just now, right? Because we are just doing stuff, right? So it says walking can be as good as a workout, if not better than running. Okay, you hear of people plateauing when they continue to do the same workout routine and stop seeing results. I see patients all of the time that plateau from running. They will run the same distance, speed, and time day in and day out. You need to constantly be switching up your exercise routine in order to get the maximum benefit for your health. So running is more physically demanding, which leads people to label it a better workout, but that does not necessarily mean that it is. And I know with me, for walking, until recently, like learning, you know, better, I used to think that walking was like a waste of time. Like, I feel like it was good to keep you limber, you know what I'm saying? But if you had like weight to lose, pounds to shed, I really did not understand the benefit of walking until recently.
Me either.
So
that's good to know. Thank you for sharing. Honestly,
no problem.
I didn't know. I guess because in your mind, logically, you'll be thinking like, well, I'm not moving at a fast pace. I'm not dripping sweat real quick. I'm not. So, you know.
But let me say this too, Reese. That was really good that was really good, because now that you're saying that, I'm also thinking about the fact that if you have not worked out in a really long time, you probably do not want to start trying to do some hardcore running.
That's true.
You might be putting too much pressure on your heart, because I've heard of people like running and end up, you know, having like heart attacks. So, you know, just
no, because when I got on the track for the first time and I was running, I felt it all in my chest.
Was that weird?
Yes, and we did a little bit more than we should have at that too. And I remember looking at because we mentally we were like, every little line we passed was like, okay, one more line, okay, one more line, come on, we almost to the other line. And I remember feeling like my chest, I'm like, you can do it. But that was the first time I had worked out in so long. And you're right. I can just imagine how that could, if it was someone else who might not have been, you know, who might have been more out of shape or have different health issues, that would have impacted them differently. Thank God I didn't fall out, because I felt like at one point, well, I was like, wait a minute.
And then it's like, right, when you're working out with somebody, you're looking at them and they're like, ooh. And it's like, you don't want to be the one to like say, okay, I need a break or something. So you're pushing yourself in the other, because I know with me, I was looking at you and I'm like, like, can we? So we're probably looking at each other.
We're literally looking at each other. Like, hey, he'd be like, you want to go one more? I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Plus, you know what I hate?
I'm like, I hope it's
when you first start running again, do y'all ever get this where like you breathe in so much air, like your neck area or whatever, like inside your throat starts burning from air? I hate that.
Happened to me.
Yes.
That happened to me.
I hate it.
Yes.
It was
I hate that feeling.
I'm like, okay, need a minute, just a minute.
I mean, that definitely takes the fun and motivation out of it.
That's true.
Yeah, that's because I liked everything else though.
Right.
I liked everything else.
Right. Okay, so I have to say one more thing about walking, right? And Salome, this is for you.
Mm-hmm.
One Stanford University study found that walking increased creative output, since you're the creative, by an average of 60%.
Those are facts. Those are facts. Those are facts. Those are 100% facts. I cannot lie. Those are facts. And even like I tell like the kids when they're at a moment where they're not able to like do something, or maybe they have like an assignment or an essay or something that they have to do at school, I always I'm like, come on, well, let's go for a walk, and then when you come back in the house, maybe you'll think of something.
Oh, that's so cool.
So for them to say that is 100% true.
That's so dope.
I'm going walking.
Yeah, I'm going walking like today.
That's why I'm so creative.
That's so cool for me.
That is cool. That's very cool. Okay. I'm going to send you all this article. I think it's a really good article. Yeah. So my takeaway from this is maybe we are not enjoying the workout, Chris and Salome, because we have it in our mind that we have to like just go hard from day one.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then, when we don't like it, we don't want to do it. So that's why we stop. But if we start doing things that we enjoy, so like walking or cycling or whatever, maybe we build the love there, and then once the love is established there, and then we can try to bring in other workouts.
I need to buy a bike. Side note.
I definitely do too. Yeah. Like I've been thinking, I've been saying I'm gonna buy a bike for like 2 years now. I never did it.
I love my bike.
I enjoy bike riding. I really enjoy it. I just went on a family trip, and at the cabin they had a bunch of bikes that we could, ride around. That was my first time getting on a bike in years, and I had so much fun. It was so fun. I was in my own world. I was going down the hill like, and it was riding over rocks.
Like what? How were you going down the hill?
Because it was over rocks and I was scared I was gonna fall.
So you was gonna fall?
Yeah, and it was like a steep hill I went down. Like, so it's literally nothing but gravel and rocks down the steep hill. I'm like, the whole time screaming. But like literally what that reminded me of when I was done, I had so much fun. Like looking back on that, that was one of my highlights. I went bike riding.
But you know what that also did for you, and maybe you did not even realize it because you just said that you hadn't ridden a bike in like years.
Yeah.
Like it like brought out your inner child.
Oh, it did. Oh my gosh, it did. I'm like literally doing U-turns.
Yeah.
Doing U-turns, talking about, okay, let's see how fast I can get back up the hill. Like, girl, what? Everybody else was gone. They had put the bikes back up. I was still out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's why I really want to get a bike now. I want a nice bike, a cute bike. But, that's cycle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've been on this journey to where I've been more intentional on loving myself, right? So I've gotten my first facial ever. What was it? Like 2 months ago. So now me and my mom, I just went, last week. So me and my mom, we're going every 6 weeks to do the facials. I've been really intentional about waking up early. I cannot get into journaling consistently. I don't know why. Like, I cannot get into that. But I do make sure that I wake up early every morning and just take some me time, right? Without opening up the laptop or anything. I do hang out with friends a lot more than I've ever used to. My excuse was always that I was too busy. Now I'm, rekindling those friends. This season is all about loving on myself, like unapologetically. Seriously.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I'm in that space too. What about you, Salome?
Definitely. Like, I mean, I think this whole being on lockdown made people realize, like, you definitely need to connect. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, it's there's so much opportunity, but not even just opportunity. There's, the relationships, and when you sit back and you just realize, like, oh my God, I haven't called this person in this long, or I haven't checked on this person in this long, and then you thinking about it like, where are all my friends at? Like, we used to do this, I think that's something that's definitely needed. And if people haven't realized it, then I don't know. But I think they should sit back and think about that,
If they didn't realize it by now, with the whole pandemic going on and us being on lockdown.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think a lot of people are in that space, though. Like, I've talked to my great uncle the other day for almost hours. Oh, my dog. My dog is barking. China. Hey, relax. So, hey, y'all. I was just making noise. Anyway, she totally just threw me all the way off. What was I saying?
You were talking to your great uncle.
Oh, I talked to my great uncle, and who's 80. He'll be 80 years old on Valentine's Day, and he's a vet, an Army vet. That's all he taught. He still shares war stories. But the point of this is that he has my great aunt. It's his younger sister, of course, and they haven't spoken to each other in years. Like, no relationship. They don't speak to each other. China, stop. They don't speak to each other. They just don't. I don't know what the reasoning is, but they don't. Well, due to this pandemic, we talked to him, and we're like, you need to reach out to her. He reached out to her, and now they're actually rekindling their relationship after 30-plus years of not speaking to each other.
Oh, wow.
Oh, for this, you never know what can happen. And they plan on getting together once we can finally say the pandemic is over. They plan on hanging out. So.
Yeah. That's so but I definitely can say laughter and conversation keeps you alive. It keeps you going. I think that is a proven fact. We can look it up at Stanford or something. Like, laughter and conversation and being among others, that is longevity for life. So it's needed.
Yeah.
Definitely needed.
Yeah. Have you all ever heard, probably you have, Christine, you just seem fake because you seem like you're always happy or you're always smiling. I know I've heard that before. If I've heard that, I know you've heard that before.
Yeah, I've heard it.
Like
yeah.
I've always been like this chill, like a.
Yeah.
I feel like that's alone. So
you know what? People's stigma of me is that I'm boring or I got an attitude, or I'm my number one is that she's bougie.
Oh no.
That's what it is. That's people like, oh, I thought you were like really bougie. Like,
I got alone that you would just chill, lay back, and you minded your business. You had your own life and you minded your business. You never cared about anybody else's stuff. You didn't care about all that hoopla, especially the scene that we were in, being in.
Yeah.
So you so disconnected from all that trash. And I
did. I in a minute I'd be like, girl, I'm not gonna get into that.
Literally,
or I'm just gonna walk over here somewhere else.
That's how it was. I think me and you were talking about like your wedding and stuff when we first had our first real conversation. I was off in the cubicle because you were sitting off on your own in your own little cubicle, and I went over there and you like vibe. We were just talking. I'm like, yeah, girl.
Yeah.
When I walked away, I was like, she's so chill. Like,
I hate that I did not meet Salome until like the end.
Oh,
I hate it.
I know, because you definitely would have been at my wedding, like, period.
Oh,
period.
That's so dope. No, but like people would be like, well, me, I remember working in banking, and I used to have this guy who used to come all the time. He was a regular, and he was always frowning, and I was always the same. Hi, welcome to whatever the bank I work for. You know what I mean? How can I help you? Like, that was just me. I liked my job. That's who I was. And so one day, he never would say anything. He would just slide me his stuff. I would do it. Have a good day. He never used to say anything. One day, he slid me his stuff, and he said, can I ask you a question? I said, yeah. He's like, are you on drugs? And I said, what? I was like, no. He's like, because every time I come in here, you're always just so happy. And he's like, you got some type of drug. Let me know.
I was like, you got to be lit.
You gotta be on some type of, I said, I promise this is just who I am. Like, I'm like this naturally. I said, if I was on a drug, you would want me out of here if that was the case, because I would be worse than
funny.
this. It was so funny, and from that day forward, he talked to me every time he came in. It was so cool. But being in high school and stuff, people thought I was stuck up, or they thought I was.
You're not.
I was annoying. I was super annoying to people. Like, you know, I didn't care. Whatever. Like,
Yeah.
Hey, smell. I don't know. I don't know. But that was literally what I would get. Oh, I'm not going to talk to her because she thinks she all that. She stuck up. She only talks to, you know, because I kept to my same friends. I was a very loyal type girl growing up. So, yeah, I was happy. I was bubbly, but I wasn't talking and bubbly with any and everybody. And I think that was the thing that people, she fake. She just do that because, you know, she don't even know. I just was an introvert. I stuck to what I knew, and I was in my element.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely say. Go ahead. No, what were you gonna say?
I definitely heard I thought that you were stuck up.
Yeah.
But you know what follows that, which is which we have to talk about the next episode. I thought that you were stuck up because I thought you were that light-skinned stuck up girl.
Oh, that's a big one. That's a big one. We got to go into that. That's
we
a
talk
one.
about that next episode because it's always, your hair was nice and you dressed like this and you light skinned. I thought you was stuck up.
Exactly, girl.
Yep. We're gonna talk about that. That's a can of worms that we opened up that one.
Yeah. That's definitely a topic for next time, but we are definitely out of time.
Yeah.
You guys.
Oh, and then next episode I'm gonna talk about my vintage that I got. We have to
before we log off.
Doing stuff like what cool things that we find. I think that would be great to like share with people.
I think that'd be awesome. I think does everybody have like some type of vintage bag? I definitely do.
I think let's have wine next time, guys.
I'm down.
Okay.
So I think that's a dope idea. And if you do something creative with your wine, do it because y'all know I'm gonna do something creative.
I know you are.
All right, cool. So we're talking about colorism and how it affected each and every one of us. We are bringing our vintage items and we are drinking wine next episode. You do not want to miss that.
Okay. Period, boo. Until next time. Bye, guys.